Greetings, friends, Shabbat Shalom, and welcome to the Congregation Beth Ruach and Universal Oneness United Faith Canada Memorial and Light Service to honor those in your hearts and minds and memories during this time of miracles and light as we welcome the change in season, and the winter solstice marks the season of the return of light, hence our twin festivals of light. Now, man has marked the turning points of the seasons for thousands of years. Ancient traditions from the Celts to the Mayans created elaborate stone calendars that mark the solstices and equinox. The Western calendar still remembers them as the first days of spring, of summer, of winter, fall. The Jewish calendar, however, being primarily a lunar calendar, has less indications today that we might once have celebrated these solar dates as sacred dates, though they are clearly named in the Talmud. Tekufat Nisan, the spring equinox; Tekufat Tammuz, summer solstice; Tekufat Tishrei, the autumn equinox; and Tekufat Tevet, the winter solstice, which is where we are now. Then they were considered very powerful days. In fact, two of them still highlight the holiest days in the year and are specifically referred to in the Bible. And it's good to honor these special days and to bless the changing times and bring our intention into what we do. Everything that happens in your life is a result of your intention, your kavanah. And in focusing hours, we engage our senses to awaken our spirits. Now, before, and even after we engage them all, the flame we highlight, that we light, it is able to, it's something we can use to, highlight our vision. And it not only honors those that we love, but flame reminds us that within each of us lives a divine fire that can illuminate the darkest of places. So may the light that we light enable us to see the work that needs to be done in the awesome majesty of creation. And as in any Shabbos service, when you have a taste of something, when you drink wine or you eat bread or whatever, it allows us to express our thanks for the partnership we have with creation. So let the fruits of the earth nourish each of us and sustain us throughout our journeys. And friends, these are things that, we do on an ongoing basis, and it's good to do when we honor sacred times. It's like we have to notice that our sense of smell comes to us through the air. We breathe in the fragrance of life and we awaken. And in our breath, we sound the name of the Creator, awakening us to the creative force that gives breath to all life. So may the breath of the universe rouse each of us to strength and to passion in the coming year. And in all we do, we touch. Now, whether it's just waving greetings, holding a beloved, comforting a friend, planting a garden, wrapping ourselves in the tradition of our ancestors, may we always know that the love and safety we find wrapped within our own rich traditions will sustain us. And of course, my friends, there's always a rhythm to the day, to the week, to the year, to life itself, and to all of creation. Now, whether we know the words or just hum along, we can always listen, we can always hear, we can always feel the music. May we all continue to hear and dance to our own beats. And these 4 special days of the year represent those 4 things, in addition to them being represented by everything we do all the time. And they also represent key things in our lives. Now, the spring equinox is all about the triumph and renewal of life after the long dormant winter. The summer solstice is about loss and about abundance. The autumn equinox, well, that gives us our link between earth and heaven. And the winter solstice, where we are now, is about the search for light. Now, on the winter solstice, the sun's light begins to become stronger. It's the shortest day of the year, and so therefore it signifies that the sun's light is getting stronger. And we too consider how to strengthen ourselves and our vision in all that we're trying to do. So blessed are you who guides the world, who makes creation, whose wisdom changes the times and turns the seasons. As long as the days of the earth endure, planting and harvest, cold and heat, summer and winter, day and night shall not cease. Blessed are you, divine presence, who blesses the years. And our intention for the winter solstice comes to us from the Midrash Bereshit 68:115. We are grateful before you, eternal one, for you have brought us from darkness to light. Let us all welcome the growing light into our lives. And of course, we have the twin festivals of light to help mark that and to remind us. Now, one marking a great light in the sky, the light of love, and the other one was marking the miracle of the growth of light through faith. But honor them both, my friends, just as we're going to honor those who have meaning to you and to all who are not with us anymore. We've been sustained, protected, and nurtured by the life of our beloved companions who've been taken from us. The ragged tear which death has rent in the fabric of our lives cannot be mended. Yet love is as strong as death. And the bonds of love know no boundaries. We still meet. We still love. If not in the world of physical reality, then in the gentler world of memory and dreams. For Hester, Fenwick. For Virginia, Norman, Lujito. For Geraldine. For Jeanette Baden, Kathleen Hackett, Bailey. For Marta Olenek, Jonathan Daviest. For Pasha, Caliph Ping. For Monkey. For Tina. For Alice. For Percy Thomas. For Willie Schiff. Gerald Schiff. For Bob. For Chrissy. For Bud. Ray. Zachary. Pebbles. Sandra. Rita. Now, a great sage once said that life is a day that lies between two nights. The night of not yet, before birth, and the night of no more, after death. Death is a night that lies between 2 days. The day of life on earth and the day of eternal life in the world to come. Both are interludes, and each is separated by a veil which human understanding cannot pierce. We, the survivors who do not accompany the deceased, are left staring into a void. This is where we often stand on the precipice of conflicting emotions. Bewilderment, agony, numbness, guilt, and fear. Anger, pain. Family chain is broken. Quite often despair replaces love and hope and warmth. The soul that touched our lives and enhanced our purpose is not here anymore. We can only be consoled by the fact it once was. The past is now finite. For Little Feather, for Muskoka Sunshine, for Sadie and Joe, Auntie Oli, Nancy and Victor, Mary Ann, Connie, and Colo. Now, there are often memorial services that are held, and there are official ones. And the official Jewish memorial, of course, is the Yizkor service. Now, Yizkor means remember, as in may God remember. And it's held 4 times a year, on Yom Kippur, and each of the 3 gathering festivals of Passover, Shavuot, and Sukkot. It's a public observance for the community to gather and pay tribute. Well, the anniversary of a person's death is a very private affair. Now, originally, the public memorial was only done once annually, and that would have been on Yom Kippur, the Day of Atonement, because atonement was for everyone, even for the deceased. Remember, friends, when we are honoring someone, we are helping to elevate their souls. But death and loss affect us all. It's not delineated along religious lines. Service knows no religion. It is for all, because spirit never dies, and it should not be restricted to time. Any time is a good time to honor those you love. For Javier, Yolanda, Gabriel the Bat, Claire, Wilson, Monty, Zero Cleo. For Murray, for Zadell, for Joan and Paul and Robert, for Benjamin, Callie, Jackie, Sadie, Israel, for Max, for Phyllis, Diane, Bruno, Carmen, Archie, Andres, Selkin, Nono, Domenico, Antonio, Nono, Chiara, Argangelina, Zia, Orienta, Steve Quigley, Thomas, Zeppi, Jetty, Heidi, for Emily, for Little Bear, for Bill, for Eric and Catherine and Bo. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He has me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside the still waters. He revives my soul. He guides me on the path of righteousness for his glory. Though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I fear no harm, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff do comfort me. You set a table in sight of my enemies. You anoint my head with rich oil. My cup overflows. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I shall abide in the house of the Lord forever. Now, this most famous psalm is about the expression of the most intimate personal relationships between man and God. Now, we may be surrounded by trouble, by agony, by despair, but there is always comfort. The Lord is my shepherd. As the shepherd cares for his flock, so does the divine shepherd care for all, regardless of our beliefs or terms or practices. And even when we are caught up in the grip of despair, of doubt and fear, we're cared for, even though we may not understand how. He has me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside the still waters. Though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I fear no harm, for you are with me, is a testament to the ability to have faith, my friends, in the divine, and to ultimately proclaim that goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I shall abide in the house of the Lord forever. And we do. We abide in the house of the Lord forever. Now, all of the people we are honoring tonight still have goodness and mercy following them. And as they have lived in the house of the Lord while here on the mortal plane, they continue to live in the house of the Lord forever. For Catherine, for Boots, for Herbert, for Dale, for Little Bear, for Carmen. O God, full of compassion who dwells on high, grant true rest upon the wings of the divine presence, in the exalted spheres of the holy and pure, who shine as the resplendence of the firmament to the souls of those whose names we speak. All those who have gone to his supernal world, in remembrance of their souls, may their place of rest be in the Garden of Eden. Therefore, may the all-merciful one shelter them with the cover of his wings forever, and bind their souls in the bond of love. The Lord is their heritage. May they rest in his resting place in peace, and let us say, Amen. May the all-merciful Father who dwells in the supernal heights in his profound compassion remember with mercy the pious, the upright, the perfect ones, all the ones we've mentioned tonight. They were the beloved and pleasant in their lives, and even in their death were not parted from him. They were swifter than eagles, stronger than lions to carry out the will of their Maker and their desire of their Creator. May God remember them with favor, together with the other righteous of the world. My friends, they can never be forgotten. They are a part of us all. We remember them. At the rising of the sun and its going down, we remember them. At the blowing of the wind, the chill of winter, we remember them. The opening of the buds, the rebirth of spring, we remember them. The blueness of the skies and the warmth of summer, we remember them. The rustling of the leaves and the beauty of autumn, we remember them. The beginning of the year, and when it ends, we remember them. As long as we live, they too will live, for they are now a part of us as we remember them. When we are weary and in need of strength, we remember them. When we are lost and sick at heart, we remember them. When we have joy we crave to share, we remember them. When we have decisions that are difficult to make, we remember them. When we have achievements that are based on theirs, we remember them. As long as they live, we live. And as long as we live, they too will live. For they are now a part of us as we remember them. Now, when I thought about taking this day to honor those in our lives and to do this, I was reminded of the words of Khalil Gibran. For what is to die but to stand in the sun and melt into the wind? And when the earth has claimed our limbs, then we shall truly dance. Now, that's not so bad for anyone, is it? And this is how we live and how we view life, as a small part, a single cell in the greater interconnected whole of nature. And now those we love are part of the wind and the sun and everything that's around us. Now, how do you measure another human being? What's the real measure of man? How are we remembered? What's important in our lives? These are some of the questions which come to us when someone we love and cherish dies. We think of them, and we think of our own mortality. You are not remembered for what you left, but for what you gave and did. And all of these people spent their lives giving and doing. To friends, to family, to community. These are the things that are part of someone's spirit and essence. No spirit never dies, and none of this spirit ever will. It lives on in friends, it lives on in deeds, in memory, and in family, as well as everyone they in turn touch. Lives on in the sun, lives on in the wind, lives on in the stars. Now, I want to turn the camera to show you what the memorial is looking like. Let me see. Okay, there it is. Okay, so we have all these candles, and they are surrounding our Buddha. And there's a candle that's been lit for every person whose name we've mentioned. When you're sad and when you're lonely and you haven't got a friend, just remember that death is not the end. And all that you held sacred falls down and does not bend. Just remember that death is not the end. Not the end. No, no. Not the end. No, no. Just remember that death is not the end. Oh, the tree of life is growing where the spirit never dies, and the bright lights of salvation shines in dark and empty skies. When you're standing on the crossroads that you cannot comprehend, just remember that death is not the end. Now, thank you all for joining us. Bless you all. Have a wonderful season of light, of miracles, of love. And, of course, a Merry Christmas to everybody and a Happy New Year. Take care. Bye.